Hey guys, Romie here, so please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for Married to Medicine, Season 5, Episode, what's this, 13, Circle of Truth. Now, this episode was good. That's why I couldn't do it last night. I said, I'll have to re-watch this episode. I'll need to pray about this episode. Because Heavenly, please take note. Just like what they said, this is exactly what you need to do. Moving forward, always make sure if you open a lid, find a way to close it. And that's all I'm gonna say for now. So the episode, it starts off with, we were trying to figure out where this whole conversation between Quad and Dr. Simone start. And it was actually when Mariah confirmed that, yes, they do treat you differently than they treat me, which is true. It's very true. Anyone watching this show understands that that is true. Quad and Dr. Simone said it best, at least for how I feel. Quad is sensitive, and when you're dealing with someone who is sensitive, you normally treat them with kid gloves because you don't want them to go off, even when you want them to receive something really important, information-wise. And so then we get into this yelling match. But it was unnecessary. This whole unnecessary yelling match, where the guys are trying to intervene. They tell the guys, no, don't do that. Don't do that. They just tell them to go and go in the water, find the turtle, whatever, have fun, while the ladies continue. Dr. Simone was doing the whole, okay, do you feel like Quad is a, do you feel like she thinks that she's better than us? Do you feel like she thinks she's better than us? Jackie was like, well, Quad does like to be the queen bee of the group. So I guess that was her way of saying Quad likes to be the center of attention. Not that she really thinks that she's better, but she kind of gives you that look. I'm the ish. So when you're talking to someone who's the ish, there's just certain things that, even if it's right, it's wrong. Now, she goes around to the other women, and again, just trying to reiterate, you and the sensitivity thing, which we know is true. We know it's true because it got worse. It got worse because Quad tried to deflect. Quad thought she was slick. She was trying to deflect this whole thing of, wait a minute, so you're trying to say that I'm sensitive, and yet you're trying to say that, well, I guess one of the things that they felt that she does a lot is she's late. She's late to everything, and so that's a lack of consideration for the people's time when everyone else is able to get there within the appropriate time of lateness. So that's the thing. It's not that they're super early. It's just that even though everyone else is late, Quad is the latest. Noticeably, they're trying to get things started. Remember, they're on a TV show, so production-wise, time is money. So that's probably the other factor. It's like we're trying to go and get things actually pushing, and then you stroll in whatever time is late for their group or how they have to do things. And so that's lack of consideration, which is true. It is true. It is very, very true. But Quad felt a certain way because she was like, so they think that, no, they say that because I'm late a lot and because I think I'm better than everyone else, then, you know, they're just pulling stuff. They're just pulling stuff. And I'm saying, no, that's the problem. They're trying to tell you how they really feel, and you just keep deflecting. That is the prime definition of you being sensitive and not being open to what criticisms people have to say. Because that's the thing with criticism. Whether it's valid or not, the whole factor is if you're at least open to hearing it, which you are not. And so that whole thing of I've been emotionally there for each and every last one of you, whether you were right or wrong in some cases, and Dr. Evans is like, true, and I'm thinking that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is now you just need a breather. Now you, because you wanted to hear what people had to say. You wanted to hear them. It's like, okay, I'm not sensitive. Go and say what they need to say. They went and said it, and now you're like, oh no, I just need a moment. I need a moment. I said, oh my God, we're done with this because that was too much. That was way too much for something that didn't even need to happen. Because nothing got resolved. Nothing got resolved at all. That Heavenly's talking to Darren and kind of going over her plans. she's going to do her therapy session. And we're seeing years past how there's been a lot of successful therapy sessions, mainly ran by Cecil and Dr. Simone. And oh gosh, we already know it's going to be, we already know it's going to be a lot with Dr. Heavenly running this, because she's not running it in conjunction with Dr. Damon. She's doing this herself. And I said, nope, that's not how you do this. That's not how you do something like this, because you're going to be too focused on trying to pull stuff out of people. So when you're too busy trying to pull stuff out of people, then you can't effectively go and, you know, bring that happy medium that needs to create some type of resolve and squash whatever feelings or angst or whatever they have going on in that moment. So I knew it was going to be a problem. The couples are talking. Dr. Jackie's talking to Curtis, essentially saying, be honest. Be honest. Say what you mean what you say, regardless if there's tears or not, because if we want to work through this, we need to be open and honest with each other. And he said, absolutely, fair enough. Now, Quad again was, you know, giving props to Dr. Simone and Cecil for their effective counseling in the past, and praying that if this is half as good as what they've done, then we should be fine. Immediately when we got there, we had the fire pit, we had the large, it was chairs kind of set up in a couch setting. It was all white, again, kind of just neutral, supposed to be positive. I said, okay, this is cool. This is cool. And then Heavenly starts talking, saying, all right, we're going to do this counseling stuff. And since her and her husband, they have minor issues compared to other people like you guys, they don't need to go and put themselves on Front Street. Everyone's looking and giggling because Dr. Simone and Cecil, they said best. They're like, that's not how you do it. You want people to open up, then you need to be a part of the process. If you're just the one going and being like, say this, say that, what's the problem here, what's the problem there, and you're not showing how you resolve it yourselves, these are people that if they could resolve it themselves, they will have done so. They would have done so. Okay, Dr. Simone didn't say all that. Now I'm saying that. We start with Jackie and Curtis, and I said that's smart. You start with the people who on the surface seem to have the biggest issue, the biggest elephant in the room. You do them first so that they don't feel closed off if they're seeing other people and starting to feel how the other people feel. I said, smart. Heavenly's first question, and all of these questions were based on what John Q. Public felt. So I said, okay, Heavenly, I understand that, so good job doing that. But, excuse me, she tells Curtis to ask Jackie, or Jackie to ask Curtis. No, she told Jackie to ask Curtis, what did that other woman have that I didn't? I said, oh God. Everyone immediately said, oh my God, you're going that angle? You're going that angle? Okay. So then Curtis said, it's not what she had or what you didn't have. It was just the whole situation. It was, for me, it was more so a miscalculation. I looked at him and said, I felt like that's something Dr. Jackie, a term or a phrase that Dr. Jackie would say. That's not what you should be saying. A miscalculation? It was a slight error in judgment? A big miscalculation? Really? Even though you're right, doesn't mean you saying that was right. See, that's the thing right there. Even though you're right, doesn't mean you saying that in itself was right. Oh, I'm looking at this man like, oh my God, okay. Okay, and everyone's kind of rolling, borderline rolling in the deep. And Toya and Eugene, their confession was like, that wasn't a miscalculation. That was an F-up. So then we get to Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie, Curtis has to ask Dr. Jackie why at times do you come off emotionless? And so then Dr. Jackie said, honestly, it's not that I'm emotionless. It's not that I don't care, because I have feelings. I have feelings like everyone else. And then the tears start coming because she's just like, for her, how she handles things is she's closed off. She doesn't wear her emotions on her sleeve. It's how she gets through stuff. It's how she tries to process things. And so that can come off as non-caring, very unemotional, and it's something that she really has to work on. And Contessa, in her confessional, said, Beth, she just looked at this whole situation and said, well, maybe if Dr. Jackie felt safe in her relationship to really express herself to her husband, then maybe she wouldn't have to be so closed off. I said, ooh, ooh, because this isn't all on her. Because, again, he didn't marry an ice queen. He did not marry an ice princess. She slowly became that way. And it couldn't have just been all her. I said, very cool. So then once they were done, I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's hope for this. Maybe there's hope for this, because that was a successful first go. Everyone's crying. Dr. Jackie actually just starts bawling. I said, oh my, this is like the first time we've seen that like that on this show ever. We've seen her cry, but not like that. Not like that. So I said, okay, this was a real breakthrough. Shout out to Dr. Heavenly for that, and only that. All the rest was trash. So then Dr. Heavenly gets to Toya and Eugene. And that's where it becomes a mess. Because Dr. Heavenly wants Eugene to go and ask Toya, why do you feel okay with disrespecting me in public? I looked at her and said, why do you feel it was okay to let something like that come out of your mouth? Because that was disrespectful in itself. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. I know a lot of people feel that way about their relationship. Again, so I understand why Heavenly made that the question, if it's supposed to be about, okay, from an outside looking in, this is what your relationship looks like to other people. But that's not helping them if that's not the real issue. If that's not their real issue. We couldn't talk about time management. We couldn't talk about finances. We couldn't talk about sex life. We couldn't talk about the other stuff. We really couldn't talk about health. Hello? There's so many things. You know these people. That's why I said this was a fail. Because there are other things that the couples really have personal issues with. And we get it. It's not like Eugene just sits there and takes it. He says stuff back to Toya like, okay, we need to stop doing that. And then she kind of looks at him and then she stops, but then she may do it again. But this is the same woman that he's been married to. She's probably changed, aside from being a mother and just maturing in general, changed the least. This isn't like a brand new person that he has to get familiar with again. No. So that's why I'm looking at this like he knows who he married. I'm sure she was like that before they got married. And so that's why I didn't like that. And so then when Dr. Heavenly wanted Toya to go and ask, or, vice versa, about, would you be with me, or are you only with me because of money type of thing? I said, no, we're done here. We're done here. We're done here, because that's John Q. public questions. That's not stuff to build up their relationship. That's not stuff that they're telling their friends that this is an issue. It's not. It's not. We know it's not. We see it's not. So that's why I didn't like it. So I liked when Toya and Eugene were like, you're going and doing all that mess and you think that it's cute, but it's not. You think that that's helping, but it's not. Why don't you go up there and talk about your own relationship issues instead of trying to make things that aren't an issue an issue? Because we'll let you know what's a real issue and what is an issue. That's not an issue for us. For us, at least, that's not a real issue. Now, Dr. Damon had to talk to Dr. Heavenly and said, look, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. You're supposed to be helping them. You're not supposed to be fighting them. Calm down. Let them say what they need to say and move on. Move forward. Dr. Jackie talked to Toya. It was just like, Toya, Heavenly's honestly just asking questions that, you know, John Q. Public would ask about your relationship. I really don't feel like she's just personally trying to make things difficult for you. She is doing that in turn by asking those questions, but I don't think that she's just doing that to hurt you or to, for it to be a slap in the face. Honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I said that's fair because that's what I said, but it doesn't mean her questions are right for this type of setting. Because Toy started to cry because she was just so frustrated. It's like, because that's not even the issues. That's not even the problem. And Mariah, she came in and she just wanted to, and I really appreciate this moment from Mariah, because we don't get this type of vulnerability from her, mainly due to her issues with the other ladies in the group. So I understand that. But I'm glad that she went there and she told them that marriage is hard. Toya, no marriage is perfect. This is just, this whole process maybe for you more, it's just to kind of show, okay, do a check, just do a checkup, see if there's an actual, sometimes when you're just blind to certain things or when you ignore certain things, that's what actually destroys a marriage. So sometimes, even if you feel like it's dumb, it doesn't hurt to ask, does this bother you? Is this a thought that you've ever had about me or our relationship? Because you never know. And so that's when Mariah said, her and Aiden, they've been through some stuff, you know, and she did say that, even in the confessional, that infidelity, she's gone through that herself, kind of looking at Dr. Jackie, like, she's been through infidelity. They've been married for 10 years. So there's been a bunch of stuff that's happened in general. And infidelity was one of them. And so the two ladies were just looking at Mariah like, whoa, wow, you just said, wow. And I really appreciated that. Dr. Jackie, her and Mariah hugged afterwards, because it's just like, look, there can be a after. There can be an after. There can be something positive. The two of you have to be open to working towards that. And I said, dang, this is the Mariah that we were hoping for. And it was just, it meant a lot. 5 seasons, and for her to just drop something like that, okay, definitely props. Now back to the foolishness. Back to the foolishness at hand with Dr. Heavenly's, whatever you want to call this. Now it's time for Dr. Simone and Cecil. So Heavenly goes and asks Dr. Simone to ask Cecil, why did you think it was okay to take the money out of our account and invest into something else? And Cecil's like, I understand that it was wrong. Just like, I said, no, that's not, no, that's part of the problem right there. Just like how you took the money out of our joint account to buy yourself a Maserati. I said, but that was a good investment though. I don't see any problems there. Anyway, I kid, people. I kid. Part of it is Cecil got really upset because he was like, I know that was wrong. I know that was wrong. I know something that I should have done. Then he started yelling. And I said, whoa. So this is the Cecil that Dr. Simone was saying that we don't see. It's not just her that's a yeller. It's not just her that can be mean, can have the emotional outburst. Because he was just yelling like, yes, of course I did. I'm sorry. And he was just saying that to everyone. It was like, I'm sorry. I know what I did was wrong. And take the money. I won't do it again. Okay? I said, okay. Okay. So then had to separate the two. Quad's pissed that Dr. Heavenly, like, what are you doing here? What are you really trying to accomplish here? Dr. Simone was like, calm down, calm. I'm like, dang it. Once Simone's yelling, then it's really over. So then the group had to split. Dr. Heavenly had to, Dr. Jackie had to go and console Dr. Simone. And she's just like, he lost control, Jackie. He lost control. This is the stuff I'm talking about. And Cecil Curtis was there, as well as Eugene. And they're just like, look, you need to tell your wife that it wasn't her. You're not mad at her for what just happened. It's you. It's how this whole situation came about. And so then he went back, like, I'm sorry. I was just on the defense from the start with how Heavenly was running this, and it just felt like she was personally coming at me. I wasn't yelling at you. I was just yelling at the world and the situation. I knew I was wrong, and just felt like a level of judgment from. I was like, oh, okay, so this is how the group really feels, and so I was like, okay, there's a lot going to it. Heavenly is failing. She's failing. She's flopping at this. She had 1 out of 5 is not good. That's an F. That's an F. You failed. Because now it's time for Quad and Greg. And I said, why are you two even going up there? Because you know it's going to be a problem. So it starts off, Jesus. It starts off with the question of,
do you appreciate me?
Quad was told to ask her husband, do you appreciate me? And he was like, yeah, I do appreciate you, but he feels a certain way because he doesn't believe that Quad is essentially down for her. Oh, what? This makes sense. He doesn't feel like Quad is down for him like he's down for her. He feels like Quad is down for herself. That's what I was trying to say. Down for herself. And Quad's like, no, that's not the case. That's not the situation. That's not the problem.
There have been times where I felt like you really haven't been there for me as well as you could have. I feel like you prioritized.
And it's funny because they're saying the same things. He feels like she prioritizes her friends, her career above him. And Quad feels the same way. So I don't know if there's some type of tit for tat thing going, but she's just like, look, she doesn't feel like you're doing stuff as one. You feel like you're doing stuff as yourself. And it...
But let me tell you something. The title is a title. It's not just a title. Okay, it's who I am. It's who I am.
It was just weird because Quad did kind of go the mean route of, yeah, you're a doctor, yeah, you're this, you're that, but that's just a title. I said, excuse me, since when was that just a title? Since when was that? No, that's a profession. That's a whole lifestyle you have to be a part of, and you downplaying it because you feel like you're being downplayed is trash. So it goes from that to, at one point, he just feels like, why is it that you don't feel like I did for you? I've been doing for you ever since I met you. And again, for someone like Quad, that comment is a slap in the face. But my whole thing is Quad, at least on the show, likes to downplay. I don't know if because that's all he has. That's all he ever says to her. So she feels really defensive about it. Maybe it is. But for us, it just seems like she downplays it a lot. And she just kind of goes like, oh, okay, so you hurt me? Time to hurt you. And she was like, I just wish that you did more of the like manly things, masculine things in our house. And that's what she said, Quad. Now, you know this man probably has a complex over that. And that's your husband. And you just said this on TV in front of all these people. Just like, the tit for tat game does not work. Everyone loses in that. Because then he got pissed. He's like, not this manly bleep bleep. Why can't you go and take out the garbage if I'm working? That's the thing I'm talking about. It's supposed to be all about you. It's the Quad show. Stop this manly. It's about accountability and responsibility. And I'm thinking, okay. And I'm glad Dr. Simone said, no, we're done here. Because this is an argument. They're not working through anything. Heavenly's just allowing them to just say whatever they want. No, you're supposed to walk people through their journey. She's not. She's sending them on their journey. On your way you go. It's a mission. Figure it out yourself. So then the argument continues because he wants to say something. And so he's just like, can I talk? And they're like, yeah, you can talk. And that's why he lays it down. Because remember, he is a psychiatrist. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to other people's stuff. He said it best. It's like, I understand what you're doing, Heavenly. You're trying to get us to talk about the stuff we don't want to talk about. The stuff that may or may not really be the issues in our relationship, but it's something a lot of people think it is. But the problem is, you're opening up a lid. You're opening up a lid, and because you're opening up this lid, you're leaving it wide open. You're just letting it run amok, everything come out, but you're not doing anything to bring us back together so that we can close the lid. And I said, preach, preach, preach. That's the word. Everyone's giving them a standing ovation, like, that's what we're trying to tell you, Heavenly. Snaps, snaps. And Dr. Damon's like, oh, the block's too hot. Let me get my wife. Let me get her. It's like, Dawn, please, I got this. So he says, look, Heavenly, she did this whole thing because she really wants to help everyone. She's like her friends that they're going through with relationship stuff, so she wanted to be that bridge to try and help everyone. There's a lot of things and ways how she handles things incorrectly, and she has to acknowledge that and grow from that. It's true. It's true. She's not perfect, and certain ways that she does, there's certain things she can't even open up to that she's asking you guys to open up to. So maybe she isn't equipped to be the one to do something like this, and she's sorry. She's sorry because that's something she's trying to work on, and she was trying to work on it with you guys. And I say I'm sorry for any grievances that my wife has caused, for that I've caused. We just wanted to try and do something nice, do something helpful to help with everyone's relationship, or to just bring things to the surface that need to be brought in a safe space. We're sorry if we failed, or sorry that it didn't work. And everyone's just like, dang it, there goes Dr. Damon again, being Dr. Damon, and that's the only reason why we put up with Heavenly. And I was like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, all right, it's time to go though. That's it, we're done. So to do something fun, we saw that the guys, they had their moments to just kind of talk about what happened last night, and Curtis breakthrough with Dr. Jackie, and how all the wives love Dr. Damon. Say, oh, they wish that they could be more like Dr. Damon. And he's like, oh, and they say that about little me. And then in the confessional, Heavenly's like, of course, because a nice man that doesn't cheat. I said, Heavenly, you didn't have to do all that. Heavenly. Anyway, Toya, she got this small little car because she's like, oh my God, we're in Barbados. We need to see Rihanna's home. I'm thinking that's cute, but what? No, the original house. But how do you know? I'm sure Toya would know. So they went in. Quad almost died because Toya was driving too close. Quad almost fell out of that car. The bushes almost took her out, clipped her, and it was funny. It was funny. The guys did also mention Greg, and it was just like, look, Greg, sometimes you have to realize the garbage, like for men, it's like, if we want the garbage taken out, we want the garbage taken out. For our wives, the garbage could symbolize other things. And so you just need to be open to that. And I said, okay, that's fair, but sometimes it could also mean take out the dang garbage. I don't want to do this. It kind of irks me, the little things like this that you kind of put on my shoulders, even though I work too. Anyway, once that's done and over with, no, Damon actually did say that, you know, sometimes my wife, but when and then she'll go and do something like find the burial place of my father, and so I could have peace. It's just, she's a real one. I said, yeah, that food looked good. It made me mad. I was like, dang it, too bad I can't eat that stuff anymore. It looked good. So now we're at dinner, and it's like a coming together, coming to Jesus moment, because Dr. Jackie's like, Heavenly, even though the implementation was trash, she didn't say it like this. You really was able to figure out some things. And the contestant said, you know, this is really a family. Dr. Simone definitely said, this is cool, but Heavenly isn't doing this again. It got rained out, so that was it. That was the Lord saying we don't need any more arguments. We're just going to have this rain out. So please like, comment, subscribe. Wow, I gave you guys 30 minutes. All right. Come back next week. Oh, yes. And I am watching Black Panther this holiday weekend. So I will have a quick mini recap. It'll probably be me rambling, but that's no different from what I